What is up, guys? Stiduous back again. Today I'm bringing you guys some top 4 buys, this time on the professional class, otherwise known as the recon class. So I've been doing a lot of experimenting with the weapons so far, and I can tell you that there's 2 routes to go with this class. You can either go semi-automatic, or you can go bolt action. Both ways are pretty damn effective, and I've been spending a lot of time with this class lately, and I want to go over the best ways and how to buy the best items to do so. So the first way we're going to be going over is the semi-automatic route, and the first weapon that I bought was the SOCOM 16. So this gun is really good for semi-automatic sniper rifles. You can either go with the 6X. What I've done is I went with the 6X scope and bought a canted red dot sight and just kept on going back and forth between sniping from long range and going back to the red dot sight at close range. But I found that I was getting hit from a lot from behind, since with this class I'm doing a lot of passive gameplay and I'm sitting at the same spot for 30 seconds to a minute at a time. So what I decided to do later is I bought a suppressor and I just kept with a red dot sight, and I figured out that that was probably the best way to go. As you can see in this video, I sit back and E a lot on the Dust Bowl map when I'm playing Conquest, and I just fire whenever people spawn in. The spawn points are pretty obvious on that part of the map. It's either on the one side of the gas station or the other in the back. So I was just chilling in the back and I was waiting for them to spawn in. I was picking them off. They had no idea where I was. So the best buys for the police side, at least at this point, would be the SOCOM 16 with a suppressor and a red dot sight. Now let's get over to the criminals. For the criminal side, we have the Saga .308 semi-automatic sniper rifle. This is also pretty much going to be the same route with the SOCOM 16. Just pop a suppressor, a red dot sight, and not much else is going to have to be explained there. Now you could go that route if you're a semi-automatic fan, but if you like bolt action sniper rifles better, there's a secondary route that you can choose, and that is either the R700 from the police side or the AWM from the criminal side. Now to save ourselves some money, what I did was I bought one weapon, which was the AWMs. They're both pretty much the same between the two sniper rifles, with bullet drop off, velocity, magazine size, and all that. They're pretty much the same exact rifle, so I bought one, which is the AWM. It honestly doesn't matter. It all has to do with personal preference and just whatever one you personally like better. So after you buy that weapon, whether it's the R700 or the AWM, the first thing you want to save up for is Magnum rounds. So you need 50 kills in order to unlock the accessories. But the Magnum rounds are $100,000, which is probably the most expensive item in the game at this point. The reason why it's so expensive is simply it makes the weapon OP as fuck. You can take out a helicopter in just one magazine by just emptying 5 bullets into it, and bam, you took it out. And as long as you can snipe it from range or get it close to, you can do up to 40 damage to attack helicopters with one hit, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention, chest shots hit from about 100 meters in, as I experimented with the ACOG sight going around in close quarters. And I could pretty much one-hit just about everybody except for leg shots, arm shots, and stuff like that. But I would later get kill assists for like 90 or something like that. The only downside to this is that these have so much recoil you cannot even see where your bullet goes. So long range distance is pretty much useless with this weapon. It says it adds range, but since there's so much recoil, you can't even tell where your bullet goes because your scope goes up, and then by the time it goes back down, you can't see where your bullet went. It already landed at that point. So it's pretty much useless at range because you can't see where your bullet goes, you can't tell where the drop off is, you can't tell how much you missed them by, and it's not very fun. So the last thing that I would buy if you're going with the bolt action route would be to get the gun license. You need 300 kills for this, and it costs $50,000. This allows you to use the gun on both sides, so that way you don't have to end up spending $100,000 again on the other sniper rifle just to get the Magnum rounds back. It saves you about $50,000, and it's pretty damn useful. If you're going with the bolt action route, you only have one buy left with our 4 buys. And the thing that I would buy with this is definitely the 9.3R, which is a secondary. It's a 3-burst pistol. It's just a lot more accurate than the Glock 18. And I just think it hits a lot harder, and you can take out people a lot easier. It's basically like having a secondary submachine gun on your side, and it's very useful going in close quarters whenever people are bum rushing you, or you're trying to take stuff or whatnot. It's just very useful to have, and if you one hit someone and get a hit marker, you can just whip it out, pop one shot, and get that burst in, and the spread will likely hit them at least once, and they'll drop. So that wraps it up for the bolt action side, and if you're going with the semi-automatic route, then you still have 2 buys left, and I'd still purchase the 93R. It's just a really good secondary, which means our last buy is going to go into our gadgets. So the first gadget you have is a laser trip mine, which is super effective when trying to hold down a position. You can just plop them right in front of doors, and people can't even see the lasers half the time because they're worried about rushing in there and getting that kill. So what I would do with our last buy is you can buy the camera, which basically replaces the motion sensor from Battlefield 4 and earlier Battlefields. But this is really damn useful, especially when you're playing Heist, and especially when you're playing Conquest. You can put it down strategically in corners, so that way whenever you're trying to hold down a position, you can put it down somewhere behind you where you're not looking, and see them on that radar, and then turn around and drop them. They'll be screaming, wondering how you found them. So it's a really good tool, and if you're using it in Conquest, I recommend just putting it down on the street, seeing wherever the people are coming in from, wherever they're spawning from. You can tell where they're coming in, and it's really, really effective when you're trying to hold down one area and you're worried that people are going to come in from the back. You can just see them right on the radar. The camera will pick up everything and put it on your minimap, and it's very useful. So that wraps it up for the professional class. If you guys don't see any more classes, please notify me in the comments section below. But just note that I already did the operator class, so any other class besides the operator and the professional, I will be glad to do. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, get the word out, whatever you want to do. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Peace.